All right, hello there. Welcome to another Wee Bit Info video. Today's video, we are going to go back into Fantasy Week 15 rankings. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm really just going to assume that you're in fantasy playoffs. I got to say, congratulations, for one. I've made the playoffs in 2 out of my 3 leagues. One of them, I said earlier in weeks prior, I just drafted terribly. Good draft, like at their ADP, good drafting at their ADP, but players just got hurt and or underperformed. Most of it was just players getting hurt. But anyway, back to the point. It's a crucial week, so I'm gonna do my best to be on it. I've been covering football since week 1 for these fantasy rankings, and I'm gonna continue to do that till week 17, because that is probably gonna be most people's last championship week. Even though I understand that the views will go down, it's just I gotta finish the season strong, man. Even for daily fantasy people that are watching these videos, gotta finish the season strong. Now again, it is 10 p.m. at the time of me recording this on a Tuesday. Injuries happen or status has changed. I obviously can't predict that. Comment down in the section below, in the comment section below. If something changes and you have a question, I will always reply, even if I take a day to respond. Also, sorry about my hair being super frizzy and messy. Again, it is 10 p.m. I want to limit the amount of videos I have to record in a single day, so I've been uploading these football videos as a one-off at night, and yeah, I get bedhead. Anyway, back to what matters. Anyway, what I was saying was back to what matters. If you haven't seen these videos before, from rankings 20 through 1, we are not going to rank them. Reason being is I'm not going to tell you to start players like Christian McCaffrey. For receivers, Justin Jefferson or DeAndre Hopkins. Those guys are automatic starts no matter what. So for those reasons, I will not cover them. But to make sure I get all of y'all who have a God Squad and who have those options, I will say my favorite 3 plays from players 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, 31 through 40. And for receivers, 41 through 50, although it's really difficult. Running backs, it'll be up to 40. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump straight to 21 and do what I've been doing for the past, week 15, 14 weeks now. Okay, so Brian Robinson Jr. Against the Giants. So their first matchup, Brian Robinson actually had a solid game coming out of a bye. Honestly, I think Brian Robinson's a pretty solid flex. Obviously very touchdown dependent, but they seem to be trusting him more and more as the games go on, and he seems to look more and more loose as he heals up from that gunshot wound. So honestly, Brian Robinson, I think, is a pretty decent start. Donta Foreman, as I said time and time again, I'm just not interested in starting him. Guy looks super sluggish. The offense just isn't it. I understand if people have to start him or if they want to start him because he is getting a lot of carries, but again, he just does not pass the eye test time and time again. I'm not interested in starting him. Cordell Patterson against New Orleans. Honestly, this is probably going to be like a middling 20s kind of game for both teams. Probably like 24-27, 24-21 kind of game. So I think that there'll be touchdowns to be had. Now, if they fall to Cordell Patterson, I couldn't say, just because he hasn't been a touchdown machine. Looks solid, but Falcons offense has been and with Mariota finally sitting, a rookie quarterback stepping in is going to be really difficult to come out slinging the first game, even off of the bye. So yeah, I'm probably going to sit Cordell. Zonovan Knight against Detroit. Detroit's defense has been a lot better. I probably still would lean towards starting Zonovan Knight for volume alone and just seeing what he's doing, and he actually just picked up a touchdown. If Mike White plays, I'm 100% starting Donovan Knight. If Joe Flacco plays, I'm still going to start him, but with a little less confidence. But yes, I would definitely start Zonovan White. Jamal Williams, I'm benching. The Jets defense is solid through and through. I just don't think that he's going to be able to do much unless they're at the 1-yard line and he gets a touchdown, which if he gets a touchdown, I mean, it's very dependent on if the Lions are at the 1-yard line or not, because anything past that, 3, 4, 5, Jamal Williams ain't getting a touchdown like that. I'd be very surprised if he did. The Jets defense is very stellar. DeAndre Swift I think it's a pretty decent play this week because I think Jared Goff's going to have to check it down a little more. His favorite target in Amon-Ra is going to be really in a tough battle with Sauce. Not only that, the other DBs are playing really well. So players like DJ Chark, and who else? Josh Reynolds, I believe, is their third. And then if you wanted to start Williams, their rookie, that's just, I wouldn't do that, period. But I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle for the Lions. So I think Jared Goff will have to check it down. There will be some screenplays. I say Swift is a start. Long story short, yes, Swift is a start. Keep going. Jerick McKinnon against Houston. I mean, 2 good games in a row, and last game he had 2 touchdowns, and I'm not saying he's going to do that every time, but I think he's finding some momentum here, so I think you kind of got to roll with it and say Jerick McKinnon start. Rachaad White, Tampa Bay's offense looks abysmal against Cincinnati's D, which is it's solid. It's not great by any means, but it's a solid defense, and I mean, I would say a desperation flex kind of thing. Leonard Fournette, same thing. Latavius Murray bench, I just know. Especially if Russell Wilson's out, that offense is even worse somehow. So yeah, Latavius Murray, no. Antonio Gibson didn't do jack crap the first time against the Giants. I expect that to remain the same. They were able to keep him in check. So yeah, I'm benching Antonio Gibson. Raheem Mostert, I gotta say I'm probably gonna bench. Unless Jeff Wilson is out and like he's out of the is he out? Let's see if he's in the top 20 here. Yeah, I don't see Jeff Wilson. Okay, so yeah, if Jeff Wilson is actually out, Raheem Mostert's probably a decent flex just because it'd be just him in the backfield, so he would probably get all the touches, get all the catches coming out of there, or at least most of them. So yeah, Raheem Mostert, if Jeff Wilson's out, definitely a start. Cam Akers against Green Bay. It's going to be a slow game. Nothing special. I don't think any flashy things are going to happen. Sean McVay is going to be really good at game management, kind of play action, run for 4 yards, play action, run for 5 yards, pass run. It's going to be a good mixture of both. So Cam Akers might not be a bad start, but I don't think that there'll be a lot of possessions unless there's a lot of punts. But considering that it's still the Rams offense without Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson, it's not an ideal thing to bet on. So Cam Akers, I'd say desperation flex, very touchdown dependent. Devin Singletary, oddly enough, James Cook didn't take over the backfield that last week, and it's been going that direction, but even then, I'm not interested in starting anyone from that backfield. Things are just a little messy right now, so I'm staying away. AJ Dillon, same thing. He did have a good game previously against the Bears. I believe the Packers are coming off a bye. Yeah, I would say bench. Very touchdown dependent. Chuba Hubbard, bench. Not starting anyone in Carolina. Pierre Strong, Kevin Harris. I mean, that's very dependent on if Damian Harris is back and if Ramondre Stevenson is back. So I would say start Kevin Harris if both of them are out. And that's pretty much that. Daryl Ogunbowale, nope. And Gus Edwards, nope. Anyway, our favorite plays from the week from 1 through 10 and 11 through 20 and so on and so forth. So our 3 favorite plays are going to be, I would say, Miles Sanders against Chicago. That is just a phenomenal matchup. Chicago's D is not good, and the Eagles are going to eat. And when the Eagles eat, they put themselves in the red zone a lot, and Miles Sanders is getting touchdowns a lot. So definitely Miles Sanders. I'm going to say Tony Pollard to continue the momentum he's had. He's just playing really phenomenal. Jackson D is bad. Keep it going. And then I want to say the Seahawks. Problem is, though, is that they've done a pretty solid job on the defensive side this year. Now, they're not great by any means, but being able to slow down opposing teams' X factors is something that they have definitely been able to do. Now, I'm gonna say Austin Eckler just because I think he's gonna catch the ball out of the backfield a lot. Not being able to run the ball, but I think he'll catch the ball out of the backfield a lot because their run defense is Tennessee's run defense is very good. Passing defense, not so much. So we'll go with Austin Eckler. Okay, here we are back at receivers. We're just gonna jump straight down to 21. We got here Jerry Jeudy. against Arizona. Honestly, I said start him last week. He did really well. He had 3 touchdowns. Problem is with Russell Wilson now, I'm not entirely confident that, what is it, Brett Ripon, I believe that's his name, is going to be able to deliver it to anyone. That 1 week he started, he just looks horrendous. But I'd say Jerry Jeudy's still a pretty decent flex spot with him being the only option if Courtland Sutton remains out. So yes, that's how I feel about Jerry Jeudy. Christian Kirk, bench. I'm not starting any Jaguars aside from Travis Etienne. And then people are going to start Evan Ingram because of what he did last week, and that's totally respectable. But I would bench him too, even though this isn't a tight end video. But Dallas defense is phenomenal. The only person, again, I would start is Travis Etienne. Yeah, that's it. There's going to be someone other than him that's going to play well for fantasy purposes, but it's just a gamble on who it's going to be. So I am going to leave it at Travis Etienne. Mike Evans. Mike Evans has just been like, just been sleeping in his slumber, waiting for a breakout game, and it just hasn't happened. It's been disappointing. Bucks offense, is just god awful. Not much you can say, really. It's obviously, sorry, what I was saying was Mike Evans definitely is benchable. So yeah, start him if you do. I mean, just know it could definitely backfire. Christian Watson against the Rams. I mean, I personally am not too high on him, but you can't stop what you're already, you shouldn't stop what's working for you. And starting him has obviously been working for everyone because he's just been getting touchdowns. Do I think that's going to continue? No. But am I going to be the one to say stop? No. Personally, I'm not really high on him again because a lot of it just is those 1 or 2 plays that save his day. And that's just not something that a fantasy player can realistically bring every game. But yeah, like I said, it's been working like the past 3-4 games, so start him, but be aware that he could definitely bomb and blow up your entire fantasy playoff hopes off of a terrible game. Michael Pittman Jr. against the Vikings. Honestly, it's been a rough ride for Michael Pittman. Hasn't been able to really do much of anything this year. I would leave it at him being a low end flex play who's very volume dependent. The Colts offense just has been terrible. Times they've been, I think the first game that their head coach was coaching, that was the only blow up game really for that offense. Other than that, it's just been slow. Anyway, Brandon Ayuk, you have to start him. Brandon Ayuk has been playing phenomenal, been doing his thing, especially when he gets the touches. And if Debo's out, which he is this week, that's even better. So yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. Brandon Ayuk, been playing phenomenal, been doing the most. Even in a blowout win, was able to secure a touchdown. Granted, people have to score in a blowout win, of course. But with that being said, he's just been consistently scoring and consistently putting himself in opportunity to make those big plays. Now, I will say this with Deebo Samuel, unlike Christian Watson, that elevates him a whole lot more. When I bring up Christian Watson, I say it's these 1 or 2 plays, and someone could easily say, "Oh, Brandon Ayuk, same thing." But the difference is that you have Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers offense doing that, as opposed to Green Bay, which is just no one. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Rodgers hasn't been himself this year. They obviously have not been good this year. Juju Smith-Schuster against Houston. This could go very, very badly if you do start him, because they could easily just blow this team out of the water. And if Patrick Mahomes decides to throw to someone else that game, then you're kind of screwed. But you have to start him because of the matchup's too juicy. But again, I don't expect the Texans to compete, and they'll be down, and Chiefs won't have to throw it that much. So it's just not an ideal situation, to be honest, because again, Patrick Mahomes throws it to whoever he wants that week, and that person that week's going to blow up. The only person you can really count on is Travis Kelce. Zay Jones against Dallas. Said it earlier, I'm not starting any Jaguars aside from Travis Etienne. DeAndre Johnson against Carolina. DeAndre Johnson has been a disappointment in terms of fantasy production. In real life, that whole offense has just been slow, just inconsistent, sometimes a little unbearable to watch because they have a lot of tools and they're just not putting it all together. Run game's not working. Najee doesn't look like Najee this year. Hasn't really had a blow-up game. I think he's had a 127-point fantasy week game, but that was it. It's just been disappointing all around. Treylon Burks, probably a decent start this week, especially against the Chargers, to where, yes, they did hold Miami. Tua, though, was missing a lot of throws. Like, a lot of throws. I was kind of surprised. Now, is Ryan Tannehill any better? No. But they do have someone named Derrick Henry who's going to force the Chargers to focus on stopping the run. It'll open the pass up a little more. I think that Treylon Burks can get it going. Elijah Moore against Detroit. I said it last week, that either Corey Davis or Elijah Moore was going to do good. It was Elijah Moore. And that was without a touchdown. I believe it was without a touchdown. I'm pretty sure. I'm positive Elijah Moore didn't have a touchdown. But against the Lions, again, their defense has been playing a lot better lately. I'd still probably lean towards starting Elijah Moore, though. I'd say this is the part of the season to where they get their young guy going, especially if Corey Davis remains out. Then yes, if Corey Davis is back in, that's going to change things up a little more. Donovan Peoples-Jones against Baltimore. Baltimore's defense is legit. Early in the season they were fumbling the bag, but with Lamar out last week, they showed up against Pittsburgh. I believe the week before they played really well as well. It seems like they got it going at the right time. And contrary to the defense, the offense, wow. Deshaun Watson has been very slow, very rusty, and when I say slow, I don't literally mean speed. I just mean like the game looks like it's moving a little too fast for him, kind of slow. So definitely not pretty, but that's where we're at. That Allen Lazard, I would say definitely low in flex. A little iffy on it, to be honest with you, but kind of have to do what you have to do with what you have at your disposal. If you have him on your team and you have no one else to start, I can understand why you start him. It's just not an ideal thing. Keep it going. Darius Slayton, I'm gonna say bench. I don't like the Giants offense, and they're on a losing streak. Nothing about them is ideal right now, especially against the Commanders, to where again it's gonna be like another middle ground kind of scoring game, 21-17, 24-21 kind of game. Nothing high scoring. So yeah, I'm Darius Slayton. I would not start. Drake London, same thing until you figure out what that offense is going to do with the new QB in town, or not in town, but the new QB starting. Hollywood Brown against Denver, I'm going to bench. Colt McCoy might be able to make it work, but Denver's D is still elite. I know they just got blown out by the Chiefs. Not blown out. They got scored on a lot by the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, and come on, dude. Like it's very difficult to do that. Gabe Davis against Miami. I would say start. That's probably going to be a juicy game in terms of scoring. You probably want to roll with Gabe Davis. George Pickens against Carolina. Desperation flex kind of thing where you're hoping that talent kind of shows and he does something on the field, because he's good enough to where anything can happen at any given moment. Adam Thielen against the Colts, I'm going to bench. That doesn't seem like a crazy high scoring game. Vikings probably going to score 28, but a lot of it's going to be Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, maybe a TJ Hawkinson appearance or KJ Osborne random touchdown. I just don't think it'll be Thielen himself. DJ Chark is going to be a tough start this week. He might get a touchdown. You might get away with the touchdown, and he might be a sneaky start in terms of that. But the Jets D is just really good, and like I said, you might be able to get away with the DJ Chark touchdown this week. Chris Moore against KC. Honestly, I just don't like starting anyone on the Texans, no matter how good they did in the past, or just I'm good on anyone Texans. I can't with comfort start someone with any sort of confidence if they're playing for the Texans at all. Nelson Aguilar, this right here. So I'm gonna show you this, and these are all gonna be bench. Oh shoot, are all gonna be benches. Like Kendrick Bourne, Kadarius Toney, Jahan Dotson, Chase Claypool, Curtis Samuel. Joshua Palmer actually might not be that bad, just because again Tennessee's pass defense is god awful. So I think Joshua Palmer might be a sneaky start, but everyone else is just not it. Paris Campbell will be a sneaky PPR start for 10 points. So if you're desperate and you need someone to get you 10 points, I think Paris Campbell is going to be that guy. But yeah, back to back to the part of the video to where we're ranking our favorite plays from 1 through 10 and so on and so forth. So our favorite plays are gonna be Tyreek Hill against Buffalo, Stephon Diggs against Miami, and CeeDee Lamb. Maybe Garrett Wilson. There's a lot of good plays at receiver this week, to be honest with you. It's going to be really hard to fumble the bag on this one, guys. Okay, we'll say Tyreek, Stephon, and Garrett Wilson. Yes, Garrett Wilson. He is good, man. Garrett Wilson is good. 11 through 20, we're going to go with Mike Williams, Devonta Smith, and Scary Terry. Scary Terry has just been phenomenal through and through. No matter who's his quarterback, he just always seems to be big time. Mike Williams against a shoddy Tennessee pass defense. Only reason why I didn't say Keenan Allen is because all those other players looks a lot more appealing. But Mike Williams, for where he's at, definitely I would say start against Tennessee. Probably looking at a touchdown. And then Devonta Smith against the Bears, who again are just not a good defense. Definitely look for that to happen. Devonta Smith definitely gonna be get some rolling this week. 21 through 30, we're gonna go with Treylon Burks, Jerry Jeudy. Oof. And yeah, I'm honestly gonna leave. I'll say another name, but I'm not as nearly as confident in this one. I'll say Michael Pittman Jr., hoping more for volume coming out of a bye week, able to design more plays for him or just get him going a little more. Not an ideal favorite though, to be honest. But Treylon Burks, for reasons I explained before, and Jerry Jeudy, also for reasons I explained before. And then 31 through 40, we're gonna go Elijah Moore. Again, the eye test, he passes the eye test every time. It's just, can they get him the ball? Elijah Moore, DJ Chark for snagging a touchdown, and I'm literally gonna leave it at 2 there. I'm not gonna press my luck. And then for 41 through 50, Joshua Palmer and Paris Campbell. I like those two a lot. I actually just talked about them, so you probably don't need me to continue to ramble. But here we are, man. Week 15, and it's playoff time. Good luck to all y'all that are competing. As always, appreciate y'all for watching. If you advance, look out for me next week. I'll be there. But this is I'll Even Different. Only We've Been Different. And we out.